I am Erika Renae Keith. I went to Northeastern and graduated in 2008, and I was an English major. And I now live in New York City and work for Planned Parenthood of New York City. Part of what brought me to being an English major is because I love to read. It is really very simple. It is as simple as that. I love to read, I love to write. I wanted to be doing that all the time. One of the things that I loved about Northeastern and why I picked it when I was kind of trying to figure out where I really wanted to be is because it's such a big school, but the English department is smaller. It's not a huge department. So you sort of get, for me, I felt like I had that experience of being able to be in these smaller classes where you get more focus from the professors and you have more of a relationship with your professors. I feel like I got that one-on-one attention, but I was also in this huge school with all these other people and meeting all these different people and having all these different experiences and living in Boston and making friends at other colleges. Like, it felt like it was just the best of both worlds of having something sort of small and connected. I personally didn't do a co-op, but I was so surrounded by people who were doing co-ops. I had a part-time job at a nonprofit like the whole time that I was there. And I just think that there's such a strong focus on learning sort of real life skills as you are doing the sort of textbook learning that I think is so unique about Northeastern. When I graduated, I intended to go to law school or go back to school and go to graduate school for English and eventually get my PhD. And when I graduated, I was looking for jobs. It was 2008, there were no jobs. I ended up doing a year of AmeriCorps and working for a nonprofit that does gender-specific mentoring with young girls throughout Boston. And it was just such an amazing experience working in the nonprofit world and just feeling like my work had an impact. And so I realized that I was probably meant to stay in the nonprofit world. My English degree has had such an amazing impact when it comes to the work that I do because it's given me all the communication skills that I've needed to succeed in all of my positions since. I never really expected to end up in a healthcare field in a lot of ways. Like, people are like, oh, you work in healthcare, but you were an English major. Like, how does that work? But I use my degree all the time. And I think that it's a very applicable degree because it's so focused on communications and writing skills. And that's something that I don't think as many people have. In my role now, I actually work in our executive office at Planned Parenthood of New York City. And so I work a lot with our CEO, I work with our chief of staff, and I also work with our public affairs department. And I manage our boards for the organization. And so it's kind of the same thing when it comes to like material development. I use my English degree all the time in creating communications that are going to go out to the board, communications that go out to all of the staff. I've created a lot of sort of design communications type stuff for my position now, and I've used my degree in all of that. I realized that working at this healthcare organization, I could do the communications work that I love. I could use my writing skills. I could use the sort of like creative side of my brain, but in a place where it's allowing me to advocate for things that I believe in so fully. That's who I am. Like, I loved being an English major. I loved doing the communications work, but I also really love advocating for healthcare.